Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. How's everyone doing? Good morning, Davey. Good morning, Rams of Fall. Good morning, Options 22. Good morning, Rich. Gaps, gaps, gaps everywhere. By the way, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term subscribers, come back and leave a comment and like the videos. All right, so where do we sit this morning on Turnaround Tuesday? Will it actually turn around for one day? Let's see. We got building permits. Housing markets were very ugly this morning, but we shall see. I think that was already baked in. Our red book, little better than previous. Again, not inflation adjusted, but it is better. Consumers still remaining somewhat strong. We got industrial production in about 10 minutes, capacity utilization. We had Home Depot and Walmart out this morning on earnings. Walmart up, beating its insanely lowered guidance. I mean, we're at this stage in the markets. This is wonderful. Before that, I got to say good morning to genomic stock. S&P 500, Amazon up a little bit, but everything else pretty much mixed. Healthcare trying to get a little bottom, and you can see Walmart up and everything else getting bought with Walmart. So we'll take a look at that in a second. FOMC still 57 to 42%, 50 versus 75 basis point, and we're actually up here in the gamma. We're closer to 4,300. So we're up here in really positive gamma. So rallies get sold into, dips get bought into. Remember that. Decreased volatility, as I said, Walmart, Home Depot out this morning. Those are the two big ones I was looking at. Not much after the close. It's really going to move stuff. And remember, tomorrow, target and lows. So, good morning, Jacob. Let's take a look. Let's prepare. Again, we're getting pretty overextended so far. Just a sideways pullback. Can't get even minorly bearish until below 42.81. Then my next stopping point is 42.69 and then 42.48. On the bigger picture chart, we got daily cycles finally starting to roll over. Remember, weekly cycles pinned at the top. We've just sort of, when that happens, you blow through the natural order, and it's just an emotional market. People wonder, well, what happens when the cycles don't work? Well, they just tell you that we're in an overly emotional market. So I'm keying off of really when if we do pull back yesterday's low. Yesterday's low's key, so because that would be so far an inside bar, and that's at 40. Let me give the exact area, 42.49. I have that key level, 42.48, and below that, just to even return to the top of the rotation zone, is the 12.5% harmonic, the prior 50% run up level from the move, and the rising rotation zone. So that's major support going into the next couple days, about 42.25 area. To the upside, since we seem to be bought in the open, yes, this is a minor pullback channel. You just put that on. Remember to use a properly drawn channel for the upside, since we are favoring upside, so you'd have to really break above these key points, which you see as candle bodies. And once this bar closes on the 1 hour, I mean, technically you could go here because this bar is not closed yet, so this isn't a confirmed defining point, but it's virtually in the same area. So it's about 42.98 starts getting it, but then above 4,300 really puts it in. And I'm using the little short-term harmonics from this pullback for 43.11, then 43.18 to the NASDAQ. To NASDAQ, we have here, didn't put on those. I'll put on those harmonics right now so you can see there from essentially yesterday's lows. So we break above the channel on the NASDAQ, 13,732, 13,738, and then the super major level that we are watching is not until 13,918. But then you have those minor levels, and then I just reposition them off of any rally we do have, but we don't have any great pullback levels. So if you want the longer term levels, like come back here. So if you want the longer term levels, the next major one would be 13,798, so essentially 13,800. Support levels coming in, if we do break below this temporary base, about 13,645 on a closing basis, 13,581, 13,505, then I'd be keying off of yesterday's lows. Other than that, it stays an inside bar, and yesterday's lows are about 13,495. And then your major support level, the 12.5% harmonic, the prior little resistance area here that initially formed that double top that never triggered, and then your rotation zone is about 13,400. That's where we sit. I'll get ARC in a second. Good morning, Lauren. Dow, remember, hit our next major harmonic. Can't even update that without a significant pausing bar, and hit that 200 area. So we'll see if there's a pause. Also have the minor harmonics up there. Dow, support 33,730, then major support 33,480. Your minor levels on upside break 33,986, 34,041, and then next major level is 34,131. So that's where we sit, just watching to see if we break out or break down from this little. It's more of a sideways horizontal channel. Sitting there. Your daily rotation zone is all the way back at 33,384. So roughly 33,400 is my key support level. But we have a long way to go even to retest yesterday's low. Cycles at the top also there. Russell, minor support 2,000. Major support 1978. Major resistance 2039. DAX, still not to his next target, even with a pullback on here, still watching for a pullback, then some higher prices. The double based off this is, I believe, off the charts at this point, so I'm just watching for the pullback to 13,800 and then 13,738. Notes, still, we tested that 119.28, no close above it. Breakdown level 118.27. At this, caught in this range, it's to sit on hands from my perspective. Crude trying to hold still these lows, little bounce that gets sold into. Nothing going on crude. You got a little flagging pattern, watching for a breakdown of that, but it's really, besides the lower, still the lower prices or this sloppy double bottom. It's just favorite watching for the next breakdown level. Let's see what else. We got the dollar index. I'll get to the euro in 1 second. Dollar index testing the 50% retracement. You start getting some acceleration above there. 107.41 is the key level. Close above there. Watch for that retest of that high levels. Why I'm bringing up the euro? Because we might be forming a shake and bake pattern with this close below this horizontal midpoint, breaking out one side, close below that midpoint. So now I'm watching for that breakdown level. That breakdown level and a close below 101.08 favors a retest of the low areas, and that would be a shake and bake pattern. Suck people into the breakout area. Could not, just missing that first target and then reversing. Bitcoin, still with these market moves pressing up, Bitcoin looking pathetic, but until it really gets below 22.6, nothing to do on the bearish side. Key resistance still at 25. Tesla, looks like we're getting another slight gap up. I'll be watching for that close area, 953.27. We're trading 934. If we get some downward pressure, I'll be targeting the gap fill. Upward is 975 is the key resistance. And we wanted ARC. ARC still stalled out at this first area. Pullback. Looks like a slight, maybe a slight gap down, but key support right now is rising at 50.50. And then if you do break below that, you're at 49, about I just go 49 to 49.15 area. That's this prior breakout area into the rotation zone. Again, nothing really changes with this double. Before you'd even get worried about any long positions in ARC, even though I can't stand it, you'd need at least a close below 46.83. Everything else would just be a standard pullback move with the double. What was interesting, I want to just touch on these couple things. Walmart back to the 200. So here's where they guided. Here's where they significantly reduced guided, gap down. Now they beat their significantly reduced guidance, and they're higher than when they pre-guided. And their fundamentals are even worse. Love these markets. Love them. You get above this two. I'm going to watch for eventually, if it can't break above this 200 substantially, for the pullback play and the gap fill back to this key support. If it does get some momentum, remember we still have this gap fill to the upside, but my target would be 146 before that. That's this prior topping area and the breakdown zone. But I'm a little cautious with daily and weekly cycles rolling over. Daily, you just gapped it to the 200, so I'm targeting the gap fill in there. Home Depot, by the way, did beat and a slight gap lower, but just trading against this key support of 309. It was down there earlier and going to sit in there. If we do break below there, 305 is going to be a pretty key area. Resistance is it's got to get above 315. If it can start getting above 315 and this rally continues, 334. One other thing with Walmart, they canceled a ton of orders and they're looking to liquidate more inventory. So that's where we sit with that. Market is losing steam. It's definitely slowing down. We have the FOMC minutes tomorrow, but it's still getting bid up, especially with the crap. Good morning, Josh. Any thoughts on HD longer term? Didn't play the short term 720 bottom. The next play is if you can break. This is a really messed up, because of this ill-formed right shoulder on the weekly. It's a really messed up head and shoulders pattern, but you start getting a break above this 315 level would be the short-term bullish play to 334. If you start breaking down below 300 again, 296 is key with the 200, and then if it closes below that, we're in a breakdown pattern again. But anywhere in here, especially even on a pullback to this 310 level, is potential just consolidation up at the top with the rising rotation zone. And you see here we got even against the daily rotation zone, and that 300 level is pretty key because that's where the 50 is also. So I can't get bearish on Home Depot until you start breaking down below at least 300. Good morning, Anissa. So, what else? I think we covered everything. Did I miss anything? We got ARC. Other than that, let's just peek back in. I mean, we are overextended, so I'm starting to watch for that consolidation. And even the pullback moves would be minor at this, because remember, we have a lot of support points to blast through. That's why I can't get overly bearish, and this would just be a standard pullback so far. If we start making a more significant topping pattern, then things can shift. But this, yes, we are overextended, but we don't have a major topping pattern yet. Even with cycles at the top, all right, they can come back down, and you might not violate some key levels. And then the secondary bounce, remember, once we actually get a reaction we can gauge, it'll be interesting to see the bounce off that reaction, because that will tell us a lot of the continued strength. We are closing in with the S&P. Remember, my target is this 200. The NASDAQ, still the 200's a way off. but I'm still watching for that too. And the 50% level from this whole down move is 13,918. So I'm still focusing on that after this next pullback. The Dow already hit its level and is between the 50 and 62.5. So I'm going to see how the Dow especially reacts to the downside. And the Russell has already reclaimed. So the Russell and Dow have reclaimed their 200. Also, the Russell statistically should still target some higher prices. So that's why I'm really gauging this next pullback. Once we get a pullback, you need pullback. So far, we've had a sideways correction. We have not even had a substantial, at least, pullback since the end of July. This was a sideways correction. So we haven't even had a multi-day pullback. And a pullback, I'm talking where we start making substantially lower lows. So we got a 2-day there. This was essentially sideways. Economic data out. Let's just see. We had the other stuff at 8:15 this morning. Industrial production slightly better. Dropping from previous year over year, but better on a month-to-month basis. But that's really not. We're just going to have to watch this into the open. Capacity utilization higher than normal and higher than the revised. So that holding up still decent. And manufacturing production month over month, that's a pretty substantial beat and a rebound from the last numbers. So that actually still supports a stronger than weaker economy, although year over year falling from the previous, but that's because of this last revised number. So short term, there's not a lot of weakness in the industrial production and capacity utilization numbers. Thanks for reminding me, Davey. Thank you, Rams Fall. Again, if you're trying to call a short-term top, you have to be very, very nimble. The only thing I'm watching for is if we start getting momentum bars to the downside, then I will target the slightly lower patterns. If we pull back from a choppy perspective, it's these higher levels I'll watch for key support. On a rotation up from the open, I'll watch for the channel break and then the tighter areas based off the key information tomorrow. And just a reminder, since today there's nothing else. Tomorrow, since there's nothing else today, we got retail sales, which is key in the morning, and you have target and lows. But we have retail sales to see if that's still strong. We got 2 Fed speaks tomorrow, and we got business inventories, and then we got FOMC meetings at 1 p.m. Central. But the big thing's going to be keying off retail sales tomorrow morning. So don't get too complicit with that coming in. Yes, tomorrow is the day. That's why I just wanted to remind it. So we could slow down, or you know what? If you get the breakout in the morning, you could have just a slight upwards bias today. That's why I got to wait for the breakout of these channels, though, to the upside. And then I think it's more of a limited upside potential. That's why I have the shorter term harmonics on. With that, I will wrap it up, and I will see everyone this afternoon after the close. Have a fantastic day. Don't throw money at non-setups. Wait for decent setups. It's still in August. Markets will pick up again majorly after Labor Day, and the depth still stinks. So bigger orders can really push things around. With that, I will talk to everyone later. You're welcome, Anissa. You are welcome, Eric. Have a great day. Bye for now.